Hello and welcome, and I am delighted to have another amazing guest today, Ilia Maksimenka, who is the founder of PlasmaPay and Plasma Finance. Hi, Ilia.
Hi, Konstantin. Thank you for having me today.
Pleasure to have you here.
Glad to be here.
It's going to be a fun conversation because I found your project recently, and there were people who asked me to do this interview specifically because they're delving into DeFi and they understand that such projects, they are rare to find when they're still in the beginning of their path, in some instances in the DeFi space, but have a lot of other achievements. So we have a lot to talk about, and traditionally I have to throw a disclaimer. So this content is for informational purposes only, should not construe any such information or other material as legal, tax, investment, financial, or any other advice. So probably tell us a little bit about your background. How did you start, the crypto journey, and how did you came up with the idea of PlasmaPay and Plasma Finance?
Yeah, thank you, Konstantin. Yeah, so my journey started from my school when I first touched stock exchange and started trading with the first stocks and building my first portfolio. So since that time, I'm really engaged with all financial market and new financial technologies. I get my master degree in economical school of Russia, and then I just building a different startups in different fields. I was engaged in the AI technologies, in the big data, and the educational technology. And finally, I come up with the idea to build something for financial world. And this is when my journey with the PlasmaPay started in 2017, when we just launched our first application with a wallet and tried to educate people what is cryptocurrency and how to use it and how it can replace in the future their money, their pocket money. Because now with a cryptocurrency, you can have any amount of money inside your wallet on your phone without any centralization like banks or other custodies. And that's the beauty of cryptocurrency, that we try to educate all the market about this and build a better platform for onboarding a mass market customer to our platform and help them use a cryptocurrency not only as an investment but also as a payment asset. So now we have a PlasmaPay application that is wallet and one of the biggest fiat on and off ramp infrastructure in the cryptocurrency space. And we started to build our second platform, Plasma Finance, that especially for the DeFi market and adoption of DeFi market for the mass user.
So I want to make an interactive conversation, so I'll ask you straightforwardly. I've listened to Mark Cuban's interview with Camila Russo from Defined, and it was an interesting thought here. Cuban brought up, he's a big fan of DeFi apparently, which, I didn't know, honestly. So he bought some Aves, he bought some NFTs, and then he's apparently a big proponent of Ethereum. But long story short, he actually brought up the thought that he doesn't believe that crypto will be used as money, as more of a transactional, the payment feature, right? He believes, this can be a store of value. There a payment system. It can be, there are a lot of applications how decentralized networks and generally DLT technologies can be used and, to benefit the world. But he's not a big believer that it will somehow miraculously replace dollar or any national currency. So what's your take on this?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Yeah, so making a cryptocurrency as a payment option for the mass users was one of our mission in the PlasmaPay, and I think we made it pretty successful. Now we have a lot of customers from individuals and business who utilize a PlasmaPay as a payment gateway on their website. So people using the cryptocurrency as a payment method, and the volume of this transaction is growing rapidly. And also,
can we throw some numbers? Sorry, if I may ask you, do you have some statistics, how many users of yours are actually using it as a payment method?
Yeah, so now on the PlasmaPay, we have around 100,000 customers, and around 20% of all these customers use us as an analog of PayPal. So they use a different cryptocurrency and stablecoins for payments, for purchasing something on the merchant's website. And also we have around 1,000 business customers who utilize the PlasmaPay as a payment gateway on their websites.
Mm-hmm.
And this number is growing. Yeah. Yeah, and also I think the kind of events in the United States around like PayPal or Facebook, it's also helping to adopt cryptocurrency as a payment method, because we see how these companies start accepting cryptocurrency like a Bitcoin and allow their customers to buy them in store, and they also talking about adoption this Bitcoin asset as a payment on a, for example, PayPal application. And we see how Facebook tried to build their own financial ecosystem and payment system based on their own stablecoins. And it will be huge when they launch this application. So I think all this helps very good to adopt cryptocurrency for the using as a payment method, and also adopt just cryptocurrency in general as an investment asset.
And that's impressive that you mentioned that you're out of 100,000 people, around 20,000 people actually use it as a payment method. Like that's a real statistic. You can prove it. So that is something that people were just not like hypothetically talking about. You are the founder. You have your own users, and maybe you can just tell us. I know I don't know if it's confidential information or not, but what is the most like frequent purchases they make? Like, do they buy like just the goods from Amazon, or do they buy cars or apartments? You know, where are they like spending more in crypto?
Yeah, so we have like in terms of statistics, we can collect it only from our like merchant customers. Mm-hmm. So I think it's now it's more popular in the different digital goods and also gaming platform. With somebody buy some stuff for the games, or some even the digital art, for example, or some, for example, paying for the servers and domains. So I think all digital now is very good connected with the cryptocurrency, and any company who doing such kind of business, they understand the opportunity of having the Bitcoin or Ethereum or USDT as a payment method on their platform.
Got it. No, it's so it's mostly digital as well. Like, so it's kind of digital native transactions right now. So not many physical goods, right? I just want to make sure our listeners also understand that, like, for now, this is only the very early stages, and what you're building with like combining the decentralized and centralized infrastructure, I have for the new digital economic system. I think that is very important. So you have Swift ability to use SEPA and Swift. You have e-wallets, you have integrations with Visa and MasterCard, and ability to basically go in and out with like Fiat and maybe other like stocks and commodities. So can you explain briefly, like before we go to the DeFi side of the conversation right now, how does it work?
So to make it happen, we spent around 2 years of building our global legal infrastructure and partnership with the different processing companies and financial institutions. So now PlasmaPay is operating in around 160 countries. We are also integrating now with some companies and institutions in the Latin America, African and Southeast Asia region. So by our plans, till the end of the year, we should support also different local e-wallets in these countries. And at the end of the year, we hope we will go also on the US and Canadian market with our big partner there.
So a lot of licenses and a lot of compliance and legal expenses, right?
Yeah, I think the major thing here is a compliance and relationship with the different financial institutions, because we try to structure our business as a really digital bank. So we need to feed to the compliance of the real banks. And when they see that we have all this stuff on our platform, that we're more like centralized bank than just cryptocurrency wallets. So they allow us to make all this integration. And also after all this integration, we still doing a lot of compliance for our customers, for the companies doing a KYC and KYB. And all this we synchronize with our financial institution partners.
So yeah, so know your customer, know your business, and basically you're acting almost like an e-bank, right? So this particular line of business, and you're helping people, like if they want to change US dollars, euro, or maybe peso, or rubles, yuan, and they want to purchase in their native national currency, any crypto, they can do it through PlasmaPay.
Right. Yeah, they can convert their national currency in the digital analog that called the stablecoin, and they can hold it on their wallet. Also, this wallet is non-custodial. They also hold their private keys from this wallet, and from the digital currency that they have on their wallet, they can also convert it in the cryptocurrency like a Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any other token on the platform. And PlasmaPay now is act more like analog of the PayPal, but mostly focusing on the cryptocurrency. And to build a really like e-bank solution, now we're adding this like a DeFi functionality to have like a comprehensive solution for the people to replace their current bank accounts.
Got it. So I think this is important for because you have non-custodial solution, you have different like ERC tokens already listed on your platform. You have a stable coin where again it's pegged 1-to-1 to dollar, right? Correct me.
Yeah.
So
dollar, euro, GBP, any currency.
Exactly. So maybe you can explain what type of stable coin it is, and maybe like what's the add value in having this particular tokenomic and the structure of this token.
If you mean the stable coins, all the stable coins processed by our own blockchain called Plasma DLT. So this blockchain was built especially to process the different financial assets like fiat, stocks, commodities, and etc. So it's like a financial blockchain, and we utilize it to provide solution of stable coins for the different national currencies, and also this like a big trend now of the central bank digital currencies. For example, CBDS, like each big bank in each country now, they do some practices to trying to build their own blockchain, trying to build their own stable coins. But it's very complicated task, and I haven't seen much successful story right now. So, for example, in this case, we try to provide and educate also the central banks, and try to provide them like all-in-one solution, the blockchain with a stable coins on top of it, with a taxation system, issuing and burning of this token, so they can easily integrate it in their current financial infrastructure. So I think in this use case, it's a huge potential of becoming of Plasma DLT, our blockchain, to become a real like a global processing system for CBDS currency also.
Maybe let's explain a little bit more, just to elaborate, because I would say people who are not that familiar with stable coins, we can remind them that there are 4 major types. We have fiat collateralized, again, or like 1-to-1 to dollar, or to euro, as you mentioned, to any current currencies, like again, 1-to-1. You have commodity collateralized, like you can, put anything on top of it, like, maybe a house or some other like a gold-backed stable coin, anything you want. And then you have crypto collateralized, so you can basically create a more closer to model, probably DAI, and Maker, right? So, and then you have completely non-collateralized stable coins. So in this particular scenario of your PlasmaPay DLT stablecoin solution, right? Can you explain a little bit more? How does it work? How is it transfer? What type of stablecoin we're talking about?
Yeah, so we are talking about the stablecoins that have a fiat collateral. Because we're working with a different financial institution, we holding an accounts there for like multi-currency. And having this currency on our account, the blockchain can see this currency and issue the same amount in the stable coins and send it to the wallet of our customers. So I think this model it's a more closer to the like a CBDS model, or model that can be really like compliance with a current banking system. So we build it as a first stage of our stablecoin system. And I think in this year we also will issue a stablecoin that backed by a basket of different cryptocurrencies. So it's similar to Maker, or similar what tried to build a Libra and Facebook in the past, but it's almost like a decentralized stablecoins, like USDT, for example, with a basket of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other stablecoins. Mm-hmm. So I think for the decentralized world, it's much more useful if you have such model of stablecoins on your platform that not controlled by any centralized institution.
So maybe another comparison with the current Plasma token, right? So you can explain the main difference, like, again, how the custody works with like stable coins, and then, like utility token that we're talking about, maybe like to have a distinctive explanation so that people are not confused what you're doing on one side of your business and another side of your business.
Yeah, so on one side, it's more like a centralized solution that fully compliant with the regulation in the countries where we are operating. And the other side, it's our DeFi part. And in the DeFi part, we are represented with the platform Plasma.finance and our PPAY token. So PPAY token is the kind of major asset inside whole infrastructure, and its economics, it's just linked to different product that we publish on the Plasma Finance platform. So when you utilize any swaps, provide the liquidity, or for example, borrow some tokens, different very small piece of fees goes to the PPAY and the PPAY holders and governance. So this is like a fully decentralized ecosystem. When the people who hold PPAY, they can be a governance for the whole platform. They can vote for the different fees and rates on this platform and control it without any our permission for that. So this is how we try to build our second part of the platform, Plasma Finance, fully decentralized, fully controlled by our community and governance.
So what the price of Plasma, Pay token, like, what does it represent? So some of the folks who are trying to become your potential supporters and investors, they ask like, okay, well, this is great. We saw the website, amazing design, everything, but it's too complex. Like, it's just like, we cannot understand how the economics works. Like, how do you even pay us out? What does it represent? Is this a revenue share that you're like commission-based revenue share that you're paying to the token holders, or it is something else?
Yeah. I think the analog here is like a real company, for example, with the beneficiaries of this company. So they get a revenue share from the companies, and it's distributed by their stock shares, right? So here's a similar situation and similar model. So the whole platform, it's like a big business with a lot of product and revenue flows. And the PPAY holders, it's kind of like beneficiaries of this platform who can get a revenue share from this token. So part of revenue goes to the PPAY holders. Part of revenue goes to the people who participate in the governance and votes and support the platform. And part of the revenue goes to the support of liquidity on the platform. So any person who provides the liquidity, for example, in the Plasma swap, they will get rewards from the fees that platform generate. So it's like a win-win situation for the users and for the platform and for people who hold the PPAY.
Got it. I think it's a great explanation, because I think it gives more clarity, like, how on a simplistic level that you are just, you're a real business, you're making money on commissions, like, roughly speaking, from different revenue streams, but then you accumulate it, and, the price is reflected in the Plasma token, and also you pay dividends in the case of staking, right? So maybe that's a smooth transition to the next question, how would the staking work? And by the way, I know that Ilia has prepared the ability to also to share the screen and show how it's working in practicality, right?
Yeah, so this is a Plasma Finance platform. So now the idea of this platform is to become a DeFi aggregation platform to provide a very like a comprehensive solution in the DeFi market, and also becoming kind of portfolio management system for your assets. So on the platform we have the market page where you can see like all performance of all major currencies and all CRC20 tokens. In the portfolio screen, you can see your assets. If you have a different type of asset, we just structure it for you and show you the performance of each asset. On the swap page, it's currently the very simple way of trade the token using the decentralized liquidity pools. So you can trade and exchange any tokens that exist now on the Ethereum network using just this simple interface. So in the future, it will be like a more professional tool for traders who want to utilize the decentralized exchanges and not touching the centralized. So using the swap, you're like fully control your assets, your privacy and security. So this is very important for the whole development of the decentralized finance. And liquidity pools is something like a more complicated. So it's more for people who's already engaged with the DeFi market and understand how the swaps work. So they can find for them useful to provide the liquidity or their token that they already have on their wallets to the liquidity pools on the swap and generate additional APY on these assets. And here we just provide you analytics on all different liquidity pools on the market on Uniswap, SwitchSwap, and PlasmaSwap. So you can compare them and choose which of them is fit to your investment strategy. And on saving page, it's now represented with the two types of products. One of them is just a special contracts that called vaults, and they built by a project that called Earn Finance. So we integrate these vaults in Plasma Finance, and now you can stake the different type of stable coins or other currencies and get almost a stable APY on these assets. For example, now if you stake one of these stable coins, USDT, USDC, or DAI, you will get almost from 18 to 23% of APY. So it's like almost 10 times better than you can get from the deposit in your bank account. And it's almost a very safe vaults. It's already existing on the market for many months. It's tested by security audits. And also it's already hold a lot of value inside this contracts. And the second type of the product that produce we for the market, it's liquidity mining contracts and staking contracts. So when you provide your liquidity in the pool, you can generate APY that we can show on the liquidity pools page.
So in other words, you're becoming a market maker in a way. Like
yeah, right. Yeah, you're becoming a market maker. And the next step, if you want to generate more APY, you can provide your tokens in our saving contract, and it will reward you with the more PPAY tokens. So, and in the summary, you will generate like twice or three times more APY on your liquidity in the pools.
So,
and also,
one of the questions I've had, sorry to interrupt you, I just want to make sure like I don't miss this part, because I've just like, you know, one of the users of similar platforms, they you know, he just texted me even the question right now when we're recording it. He said, "But in terms of like what, for example, why Earn or like, you know, or Maker or anything, why do they need to even provide you the ability to stake, you know, the stable coins in their platform? Why wouldn't they like, you know, have a direct basically direct assets locked in their platforms? So can you explain a little bit what's that value to use your platform for this like kind of quasi saving account and also provide liquidity to them?
Yeah, so we just like a DeFi aggregation platform try to aggregate the different protocols on one page. So At the end, the user don't need to go through the different dashboards and different platforms and trying to understand how it works and how to work with this platform. They can come on one simple interface and analyze the different protocols, the different pools, and make the decision like more clear based on the numbers. And also other platforms, to be honest, it's really complicated because most of them is built by developers, not by product designers. So we have on our team is very good product designers who try to build like a really good UI and UX for more like a retail customer who is not really like a crypto user or even not the DeFi user. So we tried to put all together and teach this user how to utilize these different tools on the DeFi market.
Got it. So that's one of the, I would say, benefits is clear user interface and ability to aggregate the data and to have the best rates from multiple sources, right? So that's another benefit for, especially for portfolio managers who are now, or more institutions who are getting into, they're managing like multi-billion-dollar portfolio. Obviously, it will be hard for them to, store it in like, 5, 10 to 10 different platforms. So you do it all in one solution, and you can see. So, I mean, we can. By the way, you stop sharing the screen, but we can take a look like closer. So some of the elements of your platform is like a combination. In my understanding, is like Zapper and Zerion, like something that like the portfolio view, like in one holistic user interface. Some of it helps you to have an ability to rebalance, and to understand what's happening, with the rates, and maybe you can find a better rate. So do you foresee some of the features where you can even like make an automated suggestions, to a portfolio manager? So hey, let's say you're now in YORN or YORN, however you call them, and there's a better rate, let's say in Uniswap. Like, are you implementing this particular features?
Yeah, so the final goal of the Plasma Finance is to make a lot of like tools that help you optimize your portfolio management. For example, like a few tools that we will have very soon, I hope in the next months. So one of them is how you can rebalance your portfolio. For example, you manage 10 different liquidity pools with different APY. And today you see another 10 pools with a much better APY because the market changed and new tokens come on the market and open their pools and they have a huge trading volume and you want to participate in this pool. So usually now the user need to withdraw their pool from one swap, exchange tokens to a new tokens, and then provide this liquidity to the new liquidity pool. So this is many steps, and also between them you need to approve the different contracts because each time when you work with the new pool, you approve each time the new token, the new contract. So all this cost a gas fee. And the gas fee now is huge. Like yesterday, on 24th, it was like, I don't know, some transaction just cost $1,000 just to make a swap. So that's huge. And to make optimization, we are trying to put all this transaction together in one TX on the blockchain, and then the end user can do like instant rebalance of their portfolio and paying just a one-time gas fee for the whole transaction. Mm-hmm. And also it saves a lot of time, and for some like arbitrage traders or arbitrage liquidity managers, so they need to have this such a speed to do a very fast trade or rebalance in the market. So now there is no any solution for such for such tasks. And with the Plasma Finance, we try to provide a tool for a balance for fast, for example, exchange a bunch of tokens. For example, you have a pool, you have a portfolio of 20 different cryptocurrencies, and today market crashed. And you need to exchange everything back to, for example, USDT or DAI to save your assets and money. And on the current market, you need to go on the swap, connect the wallet, and make a swap, and wait for the transaction. And the market super hot, market crashing, the fees is crazy. So that's what happened yesterday, for example. and people just losing a huge amount of money. So for such users, we want to provide on the Plasma Finance tool when they can, with one click, just exchange all their portfolio back in the stablecoins. And that's also a very unique solution. We've like never seen it on the market, and I hope very soon you will have it on the Plasma Finance, and it will help to manage your portfolio much better and efficiency.
So just to clarify, okay, so the let's say we have $100,000 portfolio, right? And did you do the comparison, maybe some math, like how much would it cost to actually liquidate this position or to swap just to let's say any stable coin, USDT, USDC? How much would it cost you on a regular MetaMask wallet as opposed to what you would have like the savings on the Plasma Finance?
Yeah, I think we optimized the transaction fee maybe 2 or 3 times, and also increase dramatically the speed of the transaction, because for some like rebalance transaction, it's just need a very fast one-time transaction to do it. So I think 2-3 times we save money on the fees for our customers. But roughly, this is I'm talking about the future features that we will have in upcoming months. And now we're mostly focusing on the launching our own Plasma Swap interface. So we have a lot of products on the market like Uniswap, SushiSwap, 1inch, for example, and we just want to build a better solution from our vision, a better protocol, a better tools for the traders who trade on the DEXs. And also one of the super unique piece of upcoming Plasma Swap solution will be ability to make any trade or any transfer from your MetaMask wallet without having a zero balance. So the use case is super simple, and it's helping a lot for the mass adoption of the cryptocurrency. Like, any newbie user coming on the market and get their first token and then don't know what to do with this token, how to send it somewhere, how to exchange this token. And some like more advanced person explained that go to the centralized exchange, buy some Ethereum, put it on your wallet, and then make this transfer. And when you make it, there's still like a dust of this Ethereum still live on your wallet, and you will like forever forget about this money. So on the Plasma Finance, you will have ability to make transaction with any token without having this Ethereum balance in your wallet. So
how would that work? Can you show us?
Not now. It's a very big part of our platform that we preparing to launch at the end of March. Was a big announcement, because it's really some like a game-changing protocol for the whole market. Yeah, it's worked pretty simple. Like just a scheme how it's work. So when you make this transaction, this token will be on the backend. It will be changed on the Ethereum in terms of what amount of gas fee you need to pay, and through special contracts on your behalf, they will pay a gas fee for you in this Ethereum. So you will never see this Ethereum on your wallet or any swaps. You just make the same transaction. For example, you have only USDT on your MetaMask wallet, and you just transfer it on another Ethereum wallet. So you don't see any like Ethereum, any swaps, anything. It's all happening on the backend with a close integration with Ethereum nodes, and the transaction fee is almost the same. So it's just like a few pips higher, because we also interact with the different protocols additionally. But you pay almost a similar fee, but utilizing your token on the wallet.
So let me ask you, I think it's once you release that'll be truly revolutionary. I can tell you, like as a user, like myself, I have a lot of issues with it, like, always like having this necessity to buy Ethereum for gas fees. So would that work only for ERC20 tokens or pairs, or would that work also like with interoperable like blockchains? Let's say if it's on, let's say on Cosmos, like would that work with their solution as well?
First of all, I think we will implement the solution on the Ethereum blockchain, because now all our platform just focusing on the serving of DeFi market on the Ethereum. And like in terms of our next plan, we want to also support the Binance Smart Chain, and this protocol will also work with the Binance Smart Chain. But I think this this issue is more popular on the Ethereum network, and now like 90% of all liquidity is on the DeFi market on the Ethereum blockchain. So I think it's more important to implement it on this chain firstly, and then if other chains will need the similar solution, similar protocols, I think we will be able to help them to implement it.
Got it. So it should be ERC20. That's the short version of your answer.
Yes.
Right? So,
yes.
And yes. It will on a back end, it will basically, you will bind like, Ethereum, like a small portion of Ether for me, and it's smooth, like you don't have to like care about how it's working. Like the most important that you have this ability. And regardless, by the way, maybe one important clarification, regardless of the wallet, right? So you will be able to do it whether you have a Ledger or Trezor or any hot wallet, right? So that will still work, or MetaMask, right? That will still work in the same fashion, correct?
Right. Yeah, correct. So the Plasma Finance is a fully decentralized solution without any backend. So all you see is just a front end that interact with the protocols on chain. We also use a subgraph to collect the data, like historical data, and drawing the charts for you. But all the data is going directly from the chain. And also this protocol can be used by any wallet, any Web3 wallet that connected to the Plasma Finance. So you just connect the wallet to Plasma Finance, you see your asset, you see the button where you can send this asset to another wallet or swap it or etc. So any options that you want to do with your asset will work with any wallet.
I mean, that would be a game changer, honestly. I think.
I hope.
That by itself, like, besides, like, obviously you have a lot of interesting features for asset managers, for people who want to have an aggregated user interface in one platform. Those are like super valuable. The fact that you can also connect it with the Fiat transactions, and correct me if I'm wrong, also just want to make sure with the PlasmaPay integration with your, like, on-ramps with Swift and SEPA and that there are other, like, basically tools, you will be able to even use US dollars and your bank account, whether it's Bank of America, Chase, or any other major banks in the United States, and be able to also acquire crypto assets directly, right?
Yeah, right. That's my big dream, to connect the CeFi market and DeFi. So now on the Plasma Finance, for example, we support in different integrations, also with the PlasmaPay, that, for example, help users to purchase different assets directly on Plasma Finance using their card or their bank account. We also integrated with a few providers who provide a solution to purchase this cryptocurrency with a fast payments in the Great Britain or SEPA in Europe from any bank like Revolut or Monzo, for example. So they can directly sign the transaction from their bank, and this transaction will be converted in a cryptocurrency on their wallet on the Plasma Finance. So that's amazing, and we try to build this like comprehensive solution where people can go into this market, in the DeFi market, from their current bank account, and then withdraw this money back when they get the revenue.
This is impressive. I think I have so many questions in terms of how long do you think the regulations will allow this to happen when this like transition, because the custody is will be eventually probably still a question for a lot of regulators, because it technologically it's beautiful, it's like exquisite, and there's no question about like the use the use case of it. But the question is like whether the DeFi component of it will be secure in their eyes.
Yeah. It's I think it's already like alive because we see like many customers, for example, from the United States, they using the Coinbase and Coinbase wallet. They just top up it with their local bank account, exchange their currency to the Ethereum, and then with the Coinbase wallet, they interact with the Plasma Finance. And finally, they can withdraw it back to the Ethereum, exchange back to the Fiat, and withdraw to the bank. Mm-hmm. It just takes much more steps, and we try to optimize the steps to like a few steps, like how you can top up your wallet and withdraw money back.
Got it. No, that's impressive, and I think this conversation requires more deeper dive. But the fact that you even doing already and it's working and you're compliant, I mean, we don't know. Maybe there will be some news that you will then acquire bank charter, like what. So we'll see about that. Yeah, no, but let's talk a little bit about your competitors, like because ironically, with all the unique combination of features you have, I'm just curious, do you even see like at least the one competitor who's doing all of that in one platform?
To be honest, we haven't seen such competitors. Maybe some of the like biggest company, for example, like Crypto.com or Binance. They're like a competitors, but they're too big now to compare us with them. And we are very decentralized with the Plasma Finance. And all this solution is they were centralized. Even when the Binance launched their Binance Smart Chain, everyone understand that this is a centralized solution that controlled by the Binance. All the nodes is a Binance nodes, and they can do whatever they want with the transaction and all DeFi and liquidity on their chain. Mm-hmm. But it's still popular. Yeah, so in terms of combination of the different features and tools on Plasma Finance, right now I don't see like a direct competitors. Maybe we somewhere we just competing with some other platforms, like for example Zerion, Zapper. This is platform more like a portfolio management focused platform, or for example SushiSwap. They more focus on the DeFi, on the liquidity mining and staking tools. So they just combine all them around their protocol. And we trying to be kind of home for the DeFi protocols and very friendly with each of them, just to integrate and help them with an adoption of these protocols and help the end user using these protocols without any additional fee. So we also don't charge any additional fee when you utilize our like savings, liquidity providing or swaps. That's not our policy. So yeah, did I answer your question?
You did answer the question. So basically, like you have I would say competitors to certain elements of your platform, but not like all in all, like one competitor who's doing exactly the same. So which is interesting because I didn't see also like this unique combination of features. So I was curious to know whether maybe of course it's even if like it's not in your best interest to share, but that's a different question.
No, even I can share that now. We have a lot of like attention from the different DeFi protocols. They just come to us and want to make partnership, want to make integration because they understand that this is like a big problem of the market is like UI. Yeah, and if somebody can build a better UI, like a decentralized Coinbase, for example, and adopt this DeFi market for the mass users, they can be winners, and we need to partnership with this winner. So in upcoming months, we will have like at least like 10 another integration with the new protocols, and you will see different options, different pools, different staking contracts. And also I hope we will fast integrate the Aava compound, and you will also get the ability to lend and borrow your assets with these protocols.
That was my next question, basically. Like, where are you going to integrate with Aava, Synthetics, Compound, and others? Like, so that will be huge. Also, like once you basically, if you take all the DeFi Pulse, list, and you integrate with them, whatever you're doing is gonna be, exceptionally valuable. Number one. Number two. maybe some other quick questions just to also like more of a from a VC style perspective. But where, in terms of security, was your token audited by anyone?
Do you mean a legal opinion on the token?
Yeah, the third party, like, for example, like Certic or Quantstamp, like, is there any third party that audited your code and they can?
Oh, you mean the code? Yeah, for sure. We work in close with Certic for many years. They audit anything that we do, and also now we have around like 50 contracts that serve all this infrastructure, and the Certic audit every piece of this code. It's also goes on the GitHub in an open source, and anyone can audit it additionally if they want.
Got it. So I think that is important. You can go to Certic, like actually it's a public information, like we will put a link just so you will see the score of the token. And I think that's highly important for any serious project to have like one or maybe even like several independent audits. For example, like my previous interview, I spoke to Kava, so it's, Scott Sturr, like the co-founder, and he explained that they use 3 different firms to audit their code, just in case, they have, maybe they can find some others.
Yeah. And I think another important thing here, it's kind of decentralized insurance. Now we see a few protocols in this market who provide such insurance. So if you're not sure that this protocol is super safe and can be hacked, you can buy this insurance for the small amount of money. And if somebody hacked this contract or this protocol, this contract will repay you the money that you lost.
So maybe let's elaborate here, because that's a pretty new concept. So maybe you'll explain a little bit, what company are you using to insure the asset and how does it work in practicality?
Yeah, so for now, for example, a very popular protocol called Cover protocol. So yeah, you can buy different type of insurance on the different protocols on the market, on contracts or on the pool. And this is like a normal insurance, like on the real market. You just pay a small amount of money, and the contract aggregate this money from the different people. And if somebody happens, they just repay this money to you back to cover your losses.
So let's clarify. When I pay for this insurance, I pay, for example, I bought 100,000 plasma tokens, right? And then what do I insure actually? Like, the impermanent loss, or what do I actually insure?
As I understand now, they mostly insure the hacks that can happen on the contracts. Most of the hacks in the DeFi now happen not directly with the code, but mostly with flash loans. Mm-hmm. So they can save your money and protect you from the flash loans attacks on the different protocols. But that's not about the Plasma Finance or PPAY, because in our new PlasmaSwap protocol, we did additional improvement of protection from the flash loans. So now it's much better protected than even the Uniswap. And it was also accepted by Certic when they did their audit and report on our contract. So yeah, for PlasmaSwap, it's not
relevant.
It's not relevant. It's more relevant, for example, for the contracts like Waltz from the Earn Finance. They get already a few attacks from the flash loans, but they also compensate this asset from their own
treasury,
from their own funds.
So do you have a reserve fund? Do you allocate, let's say, 5-10% of your funds just to have this, ability to repay if, God forbid, something happens? Of course, I know you care about security, but like just in case, do you have it?
Yeah, we first of all, we are one of the participants of the Certic Shield program. So it's kind of their own alliance of the company, and when they did an audit, we provide some tokens for them, and if the audit failed and somebody hack our contract, so the user will be repaid from the Certic Shield program. And the second way, it's a partnership with a Cover protocol. So it means that users itself can protect themselves. And I think this is more like a better decentralized solution for the coverage and insurance on the market, because you have too much contracts and like anything can happen on this market. It's still like on the very early stage. So it's better if user understand this risk from the beginning, and they understand the tools that they can utilize to cover this risk. Like you in your real life, when you cover your like health insurance or house insurance, the similar here. You invest $100,000 in the protocol, and you put $1,000 in the insurance, and you like almost 100% protected from the flash loans and other attacks.
So for now, is it automatic functionality, or you will implement that there will be an optional form of like insuring your assets on Plasma Finance?
For the Plasma Finance, the insurance tools, it's a bit like a further part of our roadmap, maybe around 2 or 3 months. So for now, we don't have like a direct tools to cover some of your risks on the platform, but you can go directly on the cover protocol platform, and you can find the asset that listed on their platform, and you can buy this insurance there. So that's not an issue for the people who want to buy insurance.
Right. Yeah. And I think it would be good if you have like maybe some knowledge base just to explain it, and we will put a link so that explain people how would that work, so because it seems like very natural, something like in the real world, but you don't have a broker to call and ask, oh, I mean, this is not clear, what do I do here? You have to figure out everything on your own. So we'll just add a link in our description to make sure that people will have an option to go and test it on their own, just maybe with a small portion of their portfolio, maybe just like insure 100 tokens just to see how it works, and to feel that, okay, now I'm comfortable, I'm being protected, like I'm having this additional layer of protection. Because flash loans are real, and they happen recently, like, with even big players. And it's really good that you actually care about this particular angle. I'm happy to retouch this, because, for a lot of even like hardcore DeFi believers and like the proponents, they still have certain risks and fears about the new platforms, right? How do they protect themselves? So I'm really happy to hear that you are not only thinking about it, but you're actually implementing it.
That's important part of the DeFi market, and also make people feeling them more safe in this crazy market.
So I mean, I know we want to wrap up this interview to not to make it like more like too long, because we can talk about it like for hours and hours, and I'm very excited to learn from you, Ilia. Like what you guys are doing is truly innovative, and it's really our industry is growing like tremendously, and maybe you can share with us a little bit of your wisdom. So what do you think is going to happen in the DeFi market, like, in this year? So we're not going to go like 3 to 5 years, because this is like, we don't have a crystal ball, but I mean, 1 month ahead is already complicated. But tell us your opinion. What's going to happen to the major players? Is there going to be some shifts in the, like, let's say maybe some flows of capital, like the total value locked will go to Plasma Finance later, or maybe you predict there will be some other products that are not even on the market. What is your view?
Yeah, so from the technical perspective, I'm like more a technical person. I read a lot of white papers in the roadmaps of the current products, like Uniswap, Aave, Compound, Synthetic, and etc. And I see that they have a very, very ambitious plans also for this year. So we will see a lot of huge updates for these protocols. And we, like a Plasma Finance, gonna support all of them. So in terms of like a big, like maybe fundamental things that will have this in this year on the market, I think one of the big thing it's a breaches on the market, because now we have a separate blockchain platforms that developing very fast, like for example Binance Smart Chain, Huobi, or Polkadot, Cosmos, and etc. So each of these platform, they develop in itself very good. The ecosystem growing. They get a new like a DeFi protocols on top of their blockchains, but we still have a very like a weak infrastructure for the bridging the different blockchains between each other, so users can very easily move their assets from one blockchain to another, from one protocol to another, if they see better like APY, better rates for the exchange, and etc. So that's also part of our mission on the Plasma Finance. We have a special team now who is working on the protocol that called the Hyperloop, because we're also trying to solve this problem even between the PlasmaChain, Binance Smart Chain, and Ethereum. So people can choose not only the protocols, but they can also choose which of the blockchain they want to utilize for better rates, for lower commissions and fees. So this one, I think, big part of the market this year. So the second one, I think it's NFT tokens, because now I see a huge growth on this market, and it's still like much more in early stage than the whole DeFi.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, the growth is huge on this market, and I think in terms of NFT tokens that they will get much more use cases this year, because now it's just like a collectibles that you can buy and sell on the auctions, for example, and trade it just like a peer-to-peer. So I think one interesting concept is to build a kind of protocol, or really exchange for the NFT tokens. So people can not only exchange it from wallet to wallet, but they also can trade it. And having such product or functionality on the market, we can produce the next level of this market. It's kind of NFT collateral for different financial assets. Mm-hmm. So for example, now you can issue NFT token for your real estates, and it will represent the share of your real estate that you're renting, for example. And then you will be able to provide this NFTs as a collateral to issue stablecoin and trade it and buy other assets. So I think this is a big future for NFTs that now is only starting exploring by some of the projects.
Yeah.
So bridges and NFTs.
This is a huge market. I 100% agree, and you can see it like now that like a lot of like traditional influencers, like listen, like Mark Cuban, Gary Vaynerchuk, like a lot of the people, like the CEO of Sotheby's and Christie's are talking about it. Like they're saying, I mean, like all the Hollywood celebrities are now creating their NFTs and bragging about it, saying that, hey, look, now this is my digital version of mine, buy it on whatever that can be Rarible or any other places. So it is getting big, and especially with the sports teams, I feel like this is like untapped, incredible market. Like, look at soccer, look at like American football, like baseball cards they're native to the understanding of the scarcity and the value of them. And if you digitize them and make them tradable worldwide, as you mentioned, and create an AMM on top of it, I mean, this is a huge market. Like I 100% agree. And nice. I think, I know that I've learned a lot from you today. And I think like just to conclude it, I want to ask you like traditional question, which I ask in my show, not related to your product or to your vision of the market, but more related to your philosophy of life. So what's the meaning of life to you, Ilia?
Meaning of life? The good question. To change in this world, I think to make it a better world for people, this is the measure of life.
Got it. And maybe like some like I don't know, podcast or a book that you're following on a constant basis that changes your life and inspires you. Maybe you can share with us as well, or maybe it can be several even.
Yeah, as we talked today a lot about the DeFi, and my kind of mission is to educate people. So I better recommend them some materials or books that can educate them in this market. So one of them, it's a pretty fresh one. It's called How to DeFi. And this ebook was wrote by CoinGecko. So you can simply Google like how to DeFi from CoinGecko, and this paper just explain how this market work, what the major players on the market, and give you like a brief overview on this market. And the second one, I'm like highly suggest you to subscribe to the Messari website and their
newsletter,
newsletter and subscription. So they also have kind of their own vision of the market. They publish this vision every year, and they also have a vision for 2021. So I'm like highly recommend to read this vision from the Messari, and they explain the major trends on this market with all like data statistics. So if you're gonna invest in this market, you like 100% need to read this paper and understand the major trends on the market.
Got it. No, those are valuable. I'm actually supportive. I follow both every day, CoinGecko and Messari, and subscribe to their newsletters, highly respected firms. So yeah, I appreciate that. And I will definitely share it in the description as well as, links to your products and to your knowledge base. I know you also share a lot of documents, support a good Medium page. So you do a lot of education, which again, I think that is very important besides building the product to educate the audience. And I appreciate that you allocated, 1 hour of your time to our listeners, and we will share it on YouTube. And anyone who's listening to on podcast, like there will be timestamps. So if you want to go just for the short version where Ilia is sharing the screen and explaining like in a short demo how the platform works, you can do that as well. Really appreciate your time, Ilia. I hope we're going to do it again.
Yeah, thank you very much, Konstantin, for your time and for this amazing 1 hour conversation. I hope we can have another call maybe in a month when we will have this like a major tools on the platform and we can show how it works. I think it will be amazing.
Yeah, you're definitely one of those people who I'm happy to have more conversations, to learn more. I'm going to collect more questions from people who will watch this particular interview. So anyone who is interested, please post a question for the future interview, and I will definitely address it. And maybe we'll definitely think about some kind of giveaway, like maybe whatever. We'll see 1,000 plasma tokens.
For the better question next time.
Yes, for the best question, we're going to provide this particular reward. So think about it, and you will be rewarded for your own education.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron.